So 3 copiers are down, eh?
Yeah.
So she said pretty much not going to happen today? Or she said...
not going to happen today. It's going to be like tomorrow.
What does it say in front of always?
What?
Does it say in front of always?
So... Make sure you keep that math. That's the way that you'll always calculate your grade in my class. Your average in the exams, your average in the homework, and your average in the classwork has 0.5 or 0.3 or 0.2. This student has a C+. And just so you know, they would have a B+ if they'd done all the warm-ups. They would have like 6.5% better if they had done the homework. And they would have only done like a small percent better if they'd done better on the exam. A lot of my students don't know how to balance these points against each other, and I want you to know that you're balancing the averages against each other.
Is there anything specific to your class about this, or is that the math for all our grades? Like for all our classes, I mean.
I believe this is specific to mine. I don't know any other teachers that do this. A lot of teachers just use points, like there's one big pool of points. I don't know how many teachers use this method, but I think everybody should. Like I can argue this issue. I've paid a lot of research and time to how we calculate grades. I'm really comfortable with this. I think it is reasonable. This is sort of how many universities do it. Some version of this is common in university. I don't know how many other teachers do it this way.
What do you mean, like having different point values for each like type of work?
It's called a weighted average, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody want to talk more about your grades, or are we done talking about your grades? This would be the last time to talk about grades. Are you sure? So, I have a very interesting opportunity for you coming up this spring and summer, but you got to start working on it now if you're into it. Do you guys know that I like to run student projects? Some of you might know that a couple of kids are starting an aquaponic project, and another couple of kids are going to be raising native trout in one of my aquariums. So here's a research project that's looking for student volunteers. Dear Mr. Blah, 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 my name is Joshua Lord, and I'm professor of marine biology at Bates College in Maine, USA. Anybody here interested in marine bio? This past summer, I started a project called Blah, blah, blah that involves students at blah, blah, blah in coastal locations around the world. The goal of this project is to compare the growth and abundance of invasive fouling algae species, which grow on boats, docks, and aquaculture equipment, and cause large ecological and economic problems. I am applying for funding to expand this project. It's a great way for students to get involved in scientific research. I want to have a site in Santa Barbara, and I need students to participate. The project would require, listen carefully, about 1 hour of work per week for the student. They would hang settlement panels of PVC that I would mail them off of floating docks in the Santa Barbara Harbor or other local marina or harbors. they would then take and upload weekly photos of these panels from April to August. It's a very low maintenance project, and I found students soon to apply for college are especially keen to participate. This gives them something else to put on their resume. Starts in spring. Time to communicate and work out the details. For more information, there's a website. I'd appreciate any response. Thank you so much, Josh. Yes?
How do you get out there?
To the harbor?
Wait, I thought you said you had to go to the... Wait, where did you play the BBC pipes?
The harbor.
Oh, I thought it was... Okay, never mind. I thought it was still...
Yes?
Is this going to be worth any extra credit in your class?
No. You know, if you want to make this into something teachable, we can negotiate. So I'll offer a couple of points if you make like a little video I can show my classes in the future, or like if you have a way to make this something I can teach my students, then we can talk. What else? Yes.
Do you know any details on how like you would put the PVC pipe in the harbor?
I think we have from now until April
Oh, okay.
to talk to the harbor master, be like, yo, where's a place that we can go to put this, that it'll be secure, and like, then the student would have to be able to access it to go look at it. If anybody's interested in doing this, send me an email, and I'm going to start an email group with him and all the other kids and myself to talk about these details. So if you're interested, please send me an email.
What's it called? Like, what's the...
iBarge program. iBarge. I'll put a link when you respond to my. When you send me an email, I'll send you a link to the thing. Anybody else? By the way, anybody here interested in aquarium stuff? If you're kind of in it, like, anybody have aquariums and do aquarium stuff? If anybody's interested, I am also looking for students to help me launch my aquariums. I want to have one of them set up with cold salt water for like lobsters and stuff out of the ocean here. And I want to have another one set up with cold fresh water for my raising trout program. I already have somebody running the trout one, but I need somebody to help me run the saltwater one. So if somebody's interested in that, let me know. No extra credit, but again, it would be an independent project if you're into like building your resume. Okay. So your study guide that you got in the back is the wrong study guide. I know. And I figure it's better to give you the wrong one than no study guide, because at least you can get started on the first couple of homework assignments. The copy machine is broken, so we can't give you the right one yet. I changed a few questions.
Oh, like the vocab.
It's generally the
Mostly the same. So look, because I have the wrong paper, you really gotta focus or you won't get credit. It's my mistake, but I'm trying to fix it. So from here on out, it's your mistake if you do the wrong thing. Yeah.
Do you have a copy of the normal one? You can like pass around some pictures.
It's like 5 pages, and the differences are like pages 2, 3, and 5. So that would be fine, but I am going to give you the right one by the time it matters to your grade. So I want everybody to know you're going to replace this one. Right at the top, wrong. So we can keep the right one later. Right, wrong on that one, and we're going to get rid of it later. Right, wrong on the top. Okay. I want everybody to stay with me on this. Assignment 3.1 is due Wednesday. That hasn't changed. Your 3.1 is fine there.
So all the 3.1 questions and vocab are fine.
Totally fine. 3.1 is 3.1. Nothing has changed. You have the good, the right 3.1. .3, you've got the right stuff, but it's not numbered correctly. Please go to the last page of your study guide. You see how assignment 3.3 says just study goal 19, yes, just 16?
Yeah.
Cross out both of those, it's now number 21.
Just 21.
Yep.
So only 21 is 3.3?
Yep. Because it's just one study goal, but when you look at that study goal, it's actually kind of a humongous, brutal study goal.
Sweet.
A lot of my kids are like, oh, it's just one, no big deal. I'll just do this later. But it's like really mondorific.
So 3.3 is due before 3.2.
So that's correct. Now look at your study guide. Where it says study goal number 19, look at the actual study goal, number 19. Please look at number 19. You have to be looking at study goal 19, the study goal, number 19. Look at the actual study goal number 19. Renumber it 21. That's assignment 3.3. Your study goal number 19 is actually now called 21. That's the one you're answering for 3.3.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, why did we do it?
Oh, those things.
I know! You could have left at 19. I know! But I want to have the right number on it, because when we talk about it, you'll be holding the right document, and that is now called number 21 in the correct document. So because some of you like to get ahead, and you're going to be busy on Wednesday, so you need to do this homework assignment earlier, I want you to do it as if you were working off the right paper, okay? Yeah?
So what do we do with 18 and 19? Where does that go?
I will give you the right paper, which includes 18, 19, and 20. So look, let's review. I don't want any confusion. I messed up, but I'm fixing it. If you will please work with me. I apologize for this error. We can work this out. Study goal 3.1 is due this Wednesday. Hasn't changed. Everything's fine. Study goal assignment 3.3 is due this Thursday. That's always been the plan. Except I gave you the paper where it was previously called number 19. And I want you to renumber it as its accurate current number 21, so that it will match the packet you'll get when they fix the photocopiers. So you're going to get rid of the wrong one, You're going to keep the right one. And in the right one, assignment 3.3 is number 21. If anybody's curious, and you'll have all these papers eventually, so it'll make sense, 3.4 now includes a couple of movie questions. Those aren't in your packet. And 3.2, which is due on Monday the 6th, also has a few extra questions. You don't have those in that packet. That's why I'm going to give you the right packet as soon as I can.
We'll get it by the 10th.
Way before that Monday.
So we just need up until 3.3.
So what?
We just need up until 3.3.
That's all this week. Yeah, and you'll have it way before the end of this week.
Okay.
So you've got the actual questions you need. We're just fiddling with the numbers. Anybody want to ask anything? Yes.
Yeah, so since we labeled number 1921, what do we do with number 21? Like the one that we didn't change to.
The one that was previously printed as number 21, you can just cross off everything there, and that's all going to come back later as a separate assignment with new numbers. So the only stuff you're going to need is questions 1 through 7.
Which one was it, 10?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to need 1 through 10, and this one that you fixed. What used to be 19, that's now 21. This is Jose. I'm ready.
Oh, man. I gotta check with my wife. I was supposed to go to the interview.
I apologize for this paperwork thing. I'm a little embarrassed. You know, units 1 and 2 I prepped before I left for summer. So everything that I've given you until now was all like lined up. And then last week I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm back in the swing of things. And looking through the papers, it's been like 5 months since I saw these papers, and so might be. Are there any questions about what I just did? Because I do expect everybody to do the assignments and the time that they're... Notice that 3.3 is due before 3.2. That's not an accident. Okay. Next. These 3 questions apply to a movie about invasive species that you're going to watch today. And this unit has a lot of talk about ecological disruptions and biomes and ecosystem stuff. So next, I'd like everybody to please read the entire wanted poster half slip and then put it on top of your dome piece when you've read it. The half sheet wanted poster. Does anybody not know what an invasive species is? Like a non-native species, an exotic that causes problems when it's let loose in a new system? Some of them are better than others. But these are supposed to be good ones. Now, when I was your age, I hated art assignments. I was like, but I don't do art. Why are you making me do art? There's like 2 or 3 assignments in my class that include like a poster or something. And if you think about it, like everybody should be out of their comfort zone a little bit. And like so many kids are super arty and they hate doing all like the math stuff or the researchy stuff or like the sciencey stuff. So whatever. This is like one of my posters. I'm over it. You've read that it has to be handwritten, hand-lettered. As you can see, nothing there is printed, photocopied, otherwise. There might be a couple things that are traced. Check out this one. One of my former geniuses went on to become one of the planet's only samurai, origami masters. Origami samurai, same thing. He just did an art installation with like a 3-dimensional like Triceratops origami thing that's like giant. Anyway, that one is a gecko getting ready to eat a fly, and he folded all that out of a single sheet of paper that was like 10 feet by 10 feet. Yeah.
Takes it like 6 hours.
Yeah. I expect you all to do that. Some of these are too big. I just want them to be like printer paper size. Like, that one sort of looks like a caiman. That doesn't look at all like a caiman. At all. Like, not even a little bit. Like, you don't need to be the best artist on the planet, but it should look like the thing that you're trying to show. Like, I guess that sort of looks like a wild turkey, but it looks like a cartoon version of a wild turkey. Like, if you ever see a real turkey, it doesn't look like that. Now that's rad. The feral house cat that looks all scary with the creepy lettering, yes. The feral pig, nah, they don't really look like that. You don't have to like freestyle the drawing. Like some kids, like make it so cartoony, that's not what the fish looks like. Don't get carried away with the artistry of the drawing of the species. As far as drawing the species, it should look like the real thing. Focus on the colors and the pattern. If you do one species, find other stuff that looks kind of like it, so you'll be able to draw the difference. Please look up. You'll have to select your own species. Period 2, your emphasis is the most economically costly. The invasive species that cause the most economic impact. Now, danger, there are 33 students in this class. So if you just Google the #1 most economically expensive invasive species, the other kid might sign up for it first. Everybody understand that? Like, there's a sign-up sheet. So whoever signs up number 33, they can't do any of the other 32 species. So you need to find economically costly invasives, but come in with a couple of alternatives tomorrow. So when you sign up, you've got like a plan B if somebody already chose your plan A. In case somebody didn't know this, they're not endangered species. They're not extinct. Invasive is a non-native or exotic species that causes problems, that gets established in a different environment. Yeah.
Do they all have to be animals, or could they be plants?
As long as they're economically impactful, they can be plants, insects, whatever you want. And by the way, some of the most economically costly invasives are plants. What else? Now, you guys, some of you are into making movies, I assume, right? Multimedia and Design Academy, is that right? Has anybody here heard of a man named Christopher Guest? He made a little movie called Spinal Tap. That was kind of famous. Then he made another little movie called like Best in Show. He made A Mighty Wind. Anybody know other Christopher Guest films? I'm going to find the other titles for you because we have a millisecond. Anyway, this guy has a style of movie making that's pretty unique. People call them mockumentaries. It's like a documentary that's like not real. And somebody asked Christopher Guest, like, hey man, where do you get your inspiration? What should we do? Oh, here's movies. Oh, he made The Princess Bride. Oh, that's weird. He made A Mighty Wind. He made For Your Consideration. He made Waiting for Guffman. He made This Is Spinal Tap. He directed a remake of The Little Shop of Horrors. Huh. I had no idea. He also made The Return of Spinal Tap. It's like a super classic, unbelievable movie that you have to see someday.
It's about a kid.
It's about a band. Okay, well, back to me. Whatever, yeah, it's about a band. Yes. Yeah. So anyway, back to me. You shouldn't pack up your stuff. You still have homework today. So this dude, Christopher Guest, is a really funny director, and I'm sorry you haven't seen his films. But someone asked him, like, what's the best movie making that you've ever seen, and like, what's the most inspirational thing? And he said there was this documentary made about an invasive species in Australia called cane toads, and he thinks, and according to Christopher Guest, this is like the most funny and inspiring thing that he ever saw. It's a documentary about this frog that has invaded Australia and causes crazy problems there.
Yeah, we actually were just learning about this in forestry class.
It's one of our vocabularies.
Maybe I gave him my homework packet already. Did he say it was because of me, or this is just...
He always has some sort of weird animal in the vocab.
Cool. So it's about cane toads, which I guess you've heard about. And this movie, just so you know, is like the quirkiest, funniest movie. It's pretty sciencey, like it has good science content, but it's also like, you'll notice toward the end, there's some scenes that are, like some sequences that are totally like, did that just happen? Like, this is a real documentary, but the movie makers have like a really bizarre sense of humor. You'll have to answer these 3 questions. Number 35 is answered right at the beginning. So these are part of your assignment 3.4.
Very much backpack.
At the very beginning, at the very outset of the movie, it answers the first question. Anybody have any questions for me before I start it?
How long is
This is part of the equipment.
The movie's about 1 hour, so we're going to watch like 10 minutes today, and then we'll watch the rest tomorrow. Anybody have any questions? Okay, here we go.
Jose, should I stop recording?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you.